myself. Which rose am I? I'm trying to find, oh, here it is, remove pin. It's already on. Oh, yeah, yeah. All right, my love bugs. One more minute and then we'll get started. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's so windy down here in Miami. Just blowing away today while I'm walking my dog. She's just like, shh. We're having like some major winds over here from a hurricane that's passing through Florida. Yeah. All right, my love. So welcome to our little sister circle. We'll see if anybody else jumps on. If not, I am recording and we will send this out to all the beautiful women and people of feminine glow up. I'm so excited to have you here. I wanted to just invite some women back, maybe who weren't maybe able to make the live event, but maybe you saw the recording or you checked out the YouTube page of mine and you connected, you resonated, and now you're here. So I want to just welcome you in. I'm going to clear my throat. 1 second. Okay, we're better. The frog is out of Vanessa's throat right now. So I want to just welcome you to a really warm, cozy space tonight. My biggest passion is to really gather women and create a very safe and loving space for them to come together and just feed off of one another, and also to let you girls know that you're not alone and we're all on this healing journey. We're all on this journey back to the wholeness and back to the completion. And yeah, I love to hold spaces where women can come together and really gather, be present, put away all the external things and just really focus on their own heart, and also just focus on bringing that purity, back to your heart, and just gathering all that attention that you may put out in the world back onto yourself. And that's what we do in these circles. Today is really like a sharing circle, so we are going to be vocal in here. So if that if that's new to you, it's okay. There's always, there's always a starting place, right? So I want to be able to hold space for you. I also want to just give you girls any support that you need. We may also do like a nice little journaling practice to get you guys like nice and grounded in your bodies. We'll do a little sound and breathwork meditation to also drop you into your feminine core, your feminine bodies, your hearts, your wombs. All those words are very synonymous for different parts of your body. And when a woman is in her body, she can start accessing the safety inside of herself, right? So I welcome you. I have some new faces here. So Abigail, is this your first time in my space? Yeah, cool. Did you watch the recording of Feminine Glow Up, or were you just on my email list or IG?
I was on the email list and Instagram, yeah.
Oh, cool. Welcome. Did you watch Feminine Glow Up, the last event I did, or no?
Is it not if it's on Facebook? Because I don't have Facebook.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so Feminine Glow Up, I sent out the recordings in an email, and it's a link to my YouTube page. So if you go on my YouTube page, it's there. But it was a 3-day event that I did this year. And then I have Embody Your Feminine Turn On, which happened last year. So those are like, and I have a bunch of other free content on YouTube. But yeah, I just wanted to know where you're from and just to welcome you. So thank you for being here. I'm glad you showed up. And Jamie, we know Jamie. We're gonna go around and introduce ourselves, so we'll take some time. But let's just do like a little check-in, girls. Like I said, I love, having a really live chat. I really feed off of your energy and what you girls are going through. So in order for me to help you, to my fullest capacity, um, I invite you girls to practice being vulnerable, practice being seen, practice being open, practice sharing, right? Practice expressing. So what happens is a lot of, of the women who find me are actually women who are not used to expressing their feelings and their emotions, which is okay. There's a starting point. So when we hold these circles, or when I hold them, I really invite you kind of out of like the closet, or like the, oh, I'm watching from back here. I'm like, no, you're not. You're going to come out and come forward. Because a lot of the the wishes, the desires of women who end up in my space, they're like, I want to have a beautiful relationship with a man. And I'm like, okay, well, guess what? You got to practice being seen, don't you? Right? Or they want to have a beautiful online business. And I'm like, well, you got to practice being seen, don't you? Or they want to know their inner world more, and they want to develop a relationship with themselves. And I'm like, well, you got to practice being seen. Even in front of me, you got to practice being seen. So I want you girls to use this as a space to practice being seen. Okay. And allow me and the other women that are here to support you, to hold you, and to see you. No matter if it's scary and you get nervous and you start to shake a little bit, because your heart rate will start to rise when it's your turn. That's just what happens, and it's completely normal. I even get nervous when I get on these calls too. I'm like, ah, and I've been doing this for 4 years. So it's just, it's a common thread. It's all good. We'll move through it. And yeah, I'm just glad we're all here to support each other. So let's do a little breath work, a little sounds. I do a lot of sounds, sound medicine. So that really helps us just drop into the body even more. It helps us soothe our nervous system. It helps us activate our vagus nerve, which is very important when it comes to our nervous system. The sound also helps you access deeper safety in your body. So if you are a woman who suffers from anxiety, high stress, disconnection from within, overwhelm, anxious, like all those things, sound literally is like a natural sedative. Okay, it is so good. I love it. And it's also a way to help you process big emotions that you may not really know how to sit with or handle, which is beautiful. So we'll do a little sounds. I'll guide you girls inwards, and then we'll open the space for some shares and for some questions and some journaling. Sound good? Okay, perfect. Okay, so when we do sounds and when we go inwards, what I always teach to my girls who are just starting, I'm like, okay, I like to make things very simple for women. Okay, whenever you're going to go inside of yourself, and remember, we have an inner world and we have an outer world, right? The outer world is what you see all around you. It's what you see, it's the tangible. Your inner world is probably the exact opposite of the outer world. Your inner world, you cannot see. There's no thing there, like nothing, no thing there. It's rather dark, right? When you close your eyes, you're going to see, oh, wow, it's kind of dark. Maybe there's like colors and stuff, but it's literally you and you. Whereas when you're in the outer world, it's you and your home, your couch, your plants, your dog, your children, your partner, your colleagues, your friends. But when we go inside, my loves, we are accessing another dimension. We are accessing another world. Okay. And it is the world of the unseen. Okay. So everything out here is seen, everything inside of you is unseen. It's unseen, but it is deeply felt. Can you girls feel that, right? You can't see your inner world, but you can feel her. Yes? You can feel maybe her. I'm going to ask you girls to just chime in the chat, and then we'll get to our meditation, but just a little intro here. What can you feel that you can't see that goes on inside of you? One of you girls just dropped me like 3 things in the chat. What are some things that you can feel inside of yourself, but that you can't see? Let me know in the chat. There's no right or wrong answers here, right? So just, yeah, take a shot at it. What do you think? What are some things that you can feel, but you can't see that go on inside of you? Those are things that go on inside of you. Emotions like fear, anger, sadness. Yes. Sense of grounding, whether it's solid or frantic. Yeah, exactly. So very good. Emotions, feelings, sensations, right? I love that Abigail said sense, like sensing, right? It's a sensation, right? And then Jamie said emotions. Perfect. You see how smart you girls are? You know, you have the wisdom inside of you, right? Okay, great. So we can't see anger inside of us, but we can feel it. We can't see sadness, but we can feel it first, right? When sadness and anger move through us, or fear, obviously sadness has a face. You can tell when someone's sad, right? But the first instinct of sadness is it's a feeling, right? It's a sensation in the body, right? Okay, great. So your inner world, my loves, whether you like it or not, whether you admit it or not, whether you let it shine or not, whether you express it or not, you are always feeling and sensing. There are always emotions going on inside of you. Yes? Even women who say they don't feel anything, numbness, I would say, is a feeling. It's a feeling. Oh, I don't feel anything. Okay, well, that's something. That's something, right? Because underneath that is normally just years of repression where we just go numb and dissociation, right? All of that we can sense. Great. So when we want to start connecting to our inner world, very simple. You close your eyes. You turn your eyes from looking out to looking in. So whenever you close your eyes, you're going from looking out to looking in. First step. And I like to make this super simple because a lot of women, they're like, I don't know how to connect to my inner world. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to teach you one real easy and simplified tool. Close your eyes, baby girl. So let's just practice that. Let's make it really simple. Okay. So we're going to ease our way into this meditation and the sounds. Okay. So let's practice just closing your eyes for a moment and just see what you notice. Maybe you notice the inside of your eyelids, which again, it could be dark. You could have an orange tone, some reds. It depends, but just notice. And then I want you to open your eyes again. Outer world, we're going to do it again. We're going to go inside of yourself. Close your eyes. This time I want you to say, hello, inner world. Hello. And then I want you to open your eyes and then say, hello, outer world. Hello. Okay, good. Let's do it one more time. Let's go inside. And this time I want you to say, hi, Jamie. Say your name. Hi, Abigail. And I'm going to say, hello, Vanessa. Okay, ready? Close your eyes and say hello. Say hello to yourself. Use your name. Good. And then open your eyes. Good. How was that? Nice, right? Like simple, cool, fun, right? Okay, great. Now we're going to put our hands on our bodies. So like on your chest, like right here. in your heart chest area. We're going to do the same thing. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to say the same thing. You're going to say hello to Jamie again. You're going to say hi, Abigail. And you're going to feel your hands on your chest. And it's like you're holding someone that you dearly love. Okay? Someone that you love very much in your life. How would you touch them? So your hands are giving yourself that energy. And then also you are saying hi. And just acknowledging yourself. And maybe you notice a breath come through. You're going to feel your inhale inside of your body, so feel that. And then feel your exhale. And as you continue to breathe, you're going to keep your eyes closed. And as you inhale, you're going to say, hello, breath. And as you exhale, you're going to say, hello, breath. And we're going to do that a few more times. So stay with your breath. And out. And in. And out. Just acknowledging your breath. So you've acknowledged your inner world, and you've also acknowledged your breath. And you've also acknowledged your body by putting your hands on her. So I want you to feel for a moment how it feels for you to acknowledge yourself. What sensation does it bring up? What feeling does it bring up inside of you? See if you can notice. We're going to stay here another 10 seconds. Just keep breathing with yourself. Spending some time inside yourself. And acknowledging yourself, saying, hi, I'm here. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, just blink your eyes open, come back. And I want you to use the chat, and I want you to let me know how that mini experience with yourself was. What did you notice? And you know what? Let's just unmute ourselves because we have a cute little group going on today, and we're just going to unmute. Is that okay with you girls? Okay, Jamie, you want to go?
Yeah, definitely just more connected and grounded. And I even noticed like such a big difference just putting my hand over my heart. Like each step that you kind of walked us through, I felt more connected and grounded and calmer.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Great. Thank you for sharing, honey. Oh, I love this. Abigail?
Yeah, I especially have very cerebral work, so that like putting your hands on the chest and like that sort of grounding really like brought me back into like, oh yeah, like I have a body. Like here we are. Let's settle into this again.
Yeah. Those are the words. It's like, oh, here I am.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you girls feel that too? That sensation of like, oh, I'm here. Here I am. Because what happens in the world, we get pulled in so many different directions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Relationships, our job, our money, our dogs, taking care of the house, cooking, cleaning. Like women, we wear 10,000 different hats. And then we wonder why we feel so frazzled and disconnected. Because we have literally lost connection with ourselves. Because when was the last time you did that? Just said hello to your breath and closed your eyes and intentionally put your hands on your body to just be like, oh, hi. Right? So, great. So let's proceed. Okay, are we ready to proceed? Okay, so next step. Does everyone, Jamie, you're on a chair, right? You have something to lean back into?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so now we're gonna add to this, okay, my loves? So this next piece, We're going to keep sensing with our bodies, but this next piece is, it's going to give you a sense of another quality that I'm not going to state right now because I don't want to give it away, but just follow me and we'll talk about it a little after. Okay. So let's go inside of ourselves again. And y'all know how to do that already. So show me what you can do to go inside. Very good. Okay, great. So eyes are closed, hands on your heart. Good. And notice this time, I want you to sit up really straight. So sit up straight. Good. And just notice how that feels when you sit up really straight. And we're going to hold it for a little bit and you're going to keep breathing. And just notice how your back muscles feel when I ask you to sit up really straight and tall. Right? Just notice how, if there's a sensation of, ooh, I'm working here. Like I got to really work to sit up tall, right? Like I feel my muscles, right? And just notice how that feels. And then now I want you to listen to my words, okay? I want you to very intentionally lean back into your chair and let your chair hold you. Lean back into your chair and just surrender into your chair, melt into your chair, and allow that chair to hold you. And feel how that feels to your body, how it feels to be held, to not have to hold yourself up by yourself. And then find your breath again. Find your inhale and then find your exhale and just be with her. And just again, if acknowledging her even more feels really good, say hello. And maybe there's other words. Maybe you want to say, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I found you. I'm so happy that I'm here learning this. Whatever the words are. It may sound like that, it may not, but just tune in. Maybe there's something else. And then feel that chair behind you and just feel like you're just letting go of the day, letting go of the job, the work, everything that you do in a day. And just allow that chair to envelop you and hold you. And it's like this chair is telling you, Mama, just come and relax on me. Let me hold you, girl. You've done so much today. Let me just hold you. And notice how that feels in your body when you fully allow that chair to sustain you and hold you. And another breath here. Yeah, and just notice your body, notice sensations. And I want you to see if you can let go 5% more. Maybe it's in your jaw or your neck. Yeah. And notice what happens when you do that. Notice where your energy goes. Notice how your breath calms. Yeah, good. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly blink our eyes open. And every time you come back to the outer world, you're coming back with that, that groundedness, like you girls said, right? Okay. So we're going to share again. How did you girls feel when I asked you girls to sit up by yourself compared to when I said, go ahead and let the chair hold you? How did that feel? What came up for you girls?
I definitely felt like a tension and tightness when I was trying to sit upright. And then leaning back, just kind of feeling all of that melt away and start to like sink down.
Yeah.
So it could like a major transition between the two.
Right. Okay, good. Yay. Awesome.
I definitely felt that tension too. But then when I went to sink back, there was a moment where like I was like, oh, the chair's gonna flip over. Like I had this like fear of like I'm gonna lean back too much and I'm gonna
Yeah.
fall over and embarrass myself. And I had to like pull myself out of that like spiral immediately. Just be like, you're safe. Like it's safe.
Yeah.
It's okay. And like so it ended up taking a little longer for me to like fully feel like I was relaxing. Because that first thing I was like, oh, you're sinking, and something it's like, oh, what if something
The
bad
chair.
happens?
Yeah. So that's interesting, right? Because how often do we also have this experience in life, right? Where we're like, oh, we can go ahead and let go, but then like, but what happens if I fully trust in this man, in this person, in this, whatever the example is, right? In this relationship. What if I can't fully trust? What if? So you see how it happened here with the chair, but it also happens to us in real life. Can you girls resonate? Okay, good. All
For
right, good.
sure.
Yeah, so that's beautiful to witness. So I love to use the chair, your couch, your bed, even your seat in your car as like the masculine. I was like, I have this man who's just like, come over here, mama, just lay in my chair, lean back, let me hold you. Because the masculine holds the feminine. An example, the bottle compared to the water, the bottle is like the masculine container for the feminine water. Do you see? So the masculine the bottle contains the water that is the feminine, right? You being the feminine, because you are a woman, in relationship to the chair is like a holder, it's like a container for you. Your couch, when you get on the couch and you snuggle, you're like, when you get in your bed, you're like, yes. When you get on a massage table, you're like, this table's holding me. This chair is holding me. My car like holds me, it protects me. My home even is my container, right? Okay, so even now, like we can use the chair because I'll ask you this, Jamie. What is when you feel overwhelmed, anxious, kind of like, in that frazzled energy? Is your energy leaned back or is your energy like forward and stiff and erect?
Definitely forward and stiff. I do that a lot. I
I know.
noticed that in myself.
Uh-huh. And we're like this, driving like this, and we're leaning forward, and we're like, right? Okay, so I teach you girls this because this is a beautiful other tool that you can use. Start noticing how you're leaning forward. You see, even my traps turn on when I go forward, or, where am I? Right? Like, where am I? Right? Because it's another tool that you can use to support your inner world, right? You're feminine. Like we're here in devotion to reclaiming our beautiful feminine nature and design, right? I suspect if you're here, it's because maybe you've lived a life in over functioning, overdoing, over giving, putting other people before yourself, and you've completely lost touch with that inner world and also with how to support your feminine, right? So that's another little tip that I like to give my clients is simply with the chair. So when we practice going inside and I ask you girls, hey girls, we're going to go inside. You already know. Okay, Vana says we're going inside to visit our inner world. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to put my hands on my body and I'm going to lean back in my chair. Or I'm going to lean back against the wall or my couch, or I'm even going to lie down. If you can lie down, right? But do you see the difference of us holding our posture really erect compared to, let me just lean back? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So we're just breaking down the steps, right? Again, all of these steps, very easy to remember and very simple. So now we're going to add another step. Are we ready? Okay, so let's go inside of ourselves again. So now you're adding to that, right? You close your eyes. Put your hand somewhere on your body. You lean back into your chair or into your bed. Hi, Amber, welcome. And you lean back. Hi, love. We're doing a little breath meditation connection to your inner world right now. So we close our eyes, we put our hands on our body, we lean into the chair or into the couch that we're in, and we just feel that chair or that couch holding us. And I want you to see if you can even find some safety in that of like, oof, I'm held right now. I'm held. And even see if you can feel some safety with your hands on your body. Like, oh, I'm here. I'm not alone. I'm here. And then see if you can find a little bit more safety through your breath. Find your breath. Find your beautiful God created breath that sustains you and feeds you and nourishes you. And then breathe with her. In through your nose and out, either through the nose or the mouth. And then remember the acknowledgement of like, hi, hello to my inner world, hello to my breath, hello to my hands, hello to my chest. You're acknowledging yourself. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of sound here. Okay, so I want you, before we even start the sounding, notice feeling. Notice, let's connect to your like sternum, chest, heart area for a moment. And I want you to tune into any sensations that are maybe living or resting in your chest area today. Maybe you notice some tension, tightness. Maybe you notice some anxiousness, overwhelm, sadness. Maybe you notice some contraction or constriction in your chest. Just see what's there. And just notice. Maybe you notice some heaviness. And let's acknowledge whatever you found. I want you to say hello to it. So before we add the sound, we're going to just notice and say hello to whatever you found in your chest. Say hello to the tightness, the tension, the anxiousness, the overwhelm, the heaviness, whatever it is, say hello. And just acknowledge. Very good. Okay, now we're going to sound together. And we're going to make the sound of the heart, which is ah, A-H. Okay, so we're going to inhale together. Eyes are still closed, hands are still in your body. And you're going to ah, from your heart. Ah. And we're going to do a few more together. Inhale. We're going to keep going. Inhale. I want you to keep going on your own. The sound can have many different tones, so find the tone that feels good for you. If you're not used to sounding and it feels awkward or weird, that's okay. Let it feel like that. It's just foreign. But I want you to see if you can actually let whatever sensation or feeling you found in your chest, I want you to sound from that feeling. So if you felt heavy in your chest, you're actually going to sound from that heaviness. It's like you're going to allow the heaviness to speak and express through you. And every sound, you're coming closer and closer to your innermost being, your essence, your soul, your heart. And keep feeling the chair holding you or whatever you're in, the couch. Just feel it hugging you now as we continue to sound. Ah. Doesn't need to be loud, it can be soft. Ah. And we'll do one more together. Inhale. Ah. Right. And I want you to just pause, keep your eyes closed. We're going to do something else. Just notice what you are feeling now in your chest. Notice if there was any shifts. Good. Now we're going to make the sound of the head, which is going to be an sound, M. So we're going to inhale together. Mm. And remember that you're still inside of yourself as you sound. Inhale. Mm. Mm. Every sound is bringing you closer to that place of love within you. Mm. It's bringing you closer to the safety of your own being. Mm. Just do one more. Mm. And then just pause and notice again. How has your inner world shifted, opened? How is she feeling right now? Mm. Good. Yeah. And just take a moment, maybe just rub your arms a little bit as you come back. Take a look around the room to kind of orient yourself back in this world. Let's do a little share. You girls can unmute whoever wants to go first and just let me know what you notice before the sound to after the sounds. Okay. All right. Who wants to go first? Jamie, you want to go?
Sure. Yeah, it definitely felt as we were making the sound like connected to the heart, just that tension, like specifically in the chest area too. Like you just start to feel it kind of melting away. And then the same thing with the sound for the head, like any tension, like tightness, it just starts to kind of relax in that area.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. Okay, good. So overall, we start to feel like more settled, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Thank you, babe, for sharing. Abigail?
Yeah, I could kind of feel all the tension relax, but also like I've been having like a headache all day.
Uh-huh.
And I just noticed at the end of that, I'm like, oh, like I don't have that anymore. Like as soon as you said tension in the head, I was like, wait, I don't. Okay, that went away. That's nice.
Oh, cool. Okay. Have you done sounding like that before?
Nope.
Oh, welcome. That's awesome. This is one of my favorite tools to give my clients because it just helps like mitigate balance, calm, soothe, heal any of that funkiness that we feel sometimes, you know? And it's a very quick, like you said, like, you know, you just noticed that you had it, no, you don't. It's like, it's very quick. And it's literally something you can do in your car, in the shower, you know, in the grocery store. Like, no one knows no one knows. No one's gonna know, right? So awesome, honey. So happy that that works for you. Amber, hi, love. Do you want to share how that was for you? You can share with us in the chat, or you can unmute yourself, honey. Just let me know. Okay, great. So we love the sounding. Okay, perfect, babes. All right, so what did we learn about our inner worlds? I want you girls to sit with two things that you learned today about your inner world and about how to connect with her, right? So any of the thing. I didn't know this was recorded. It was lovely. I felt very held. Oh, okay. Of course, honey, great. I'm glad that was helpful for you. So yeah, so we went over inner world versus outer. So why don't you girls share with me a few things that you won, or a few things about what you learned today about your inner world and how to connect with her. So you can chat it or you can unmute yourself. I'll keep it wide open for you girls. And just unmute yourself, and whoever wants to go can go.
I'll go. I think that I feel like disconnected from that inner world a lot, and that's what I'm working on. So this is teaching me it's easier to go there than I realized. Like just in those steps that you're guiding us on, like touching your heart, closing your eyes, like you can get there easier than I think sometimes you realize. So to kind of just connect to yourself and go there, you just need these tools from Vanessa.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're like simple, right? I mean, and like
Yeah.
you can literally do it right when you wake up. It's like, okay, let me find myself, because like I said, a lot of the women feel very lost, right? Like I feel disconnected. I feel it's a sensation of like, where am I? I don't know how to find myself, to connect. I don't know really who I am, because when you're lost from yourself, how can you possibly know where you begin or end? And that actually is what leads us to being really codependent and enmeshed with other people, especially men. Right? So that's why it's so important for us to know, okay, here I am. These are my feelings. This is what I'm feeling. And that's, you know, where the continued journey, where we go, is like to actually start acknowledging what you're feeling, to learn your feelings, learn your emotions, learn your sensations, so that when you do end, or, you know, enter a relationship, you know what's yours and you know what's not yours. And
Right,
that,
exactly.
right? And that keeps us from jumping into someone else's home, because this is your home, Jamie. This, when I want you to touch yourself and be like, this is my home. Okay? That man's body is not my home. That best friend's body is not my home. My parents' body, that's not my home. My sister, my brother, my colleague, like I am responsible for this right here and nothing else. Obviously, if you have children, that's a different story, right? If you have dogs like me, I have to tend to her, right? But it's like, this is your home, this is your responsibility. But when we don't know our inner world, it's like we're actually unconsciously always searching for it everywhere else and in everyone else.
That's powerful. Yeah.
Right? Can you relate to that, or like feel that?
Yeah, that resonates.
So it's like, oh, this helps. This work helps in any relationship you find yourself in, because it's gonna bring you into a sense of self. right? A lot of women come
Mhm.
to me like, man, I have no sense of self. I have no self-confidence, which is a byproduct of having no sense of self. How can you be confident in something you don't know?
Mm.
Ooh. Jamie's like, uh-huh. I'm gonna turn on my light. 1 second. Sit with that. So it's important for us to know where we start and where we end. It's important for us as women to have a responsible relationship with our own heart and inner world. It's no one else's responsibility, my loves, for it's no one else's responsibility. You are the queen of hearts. You are the master of relationships, but the relationship that is priority is the one you have with yourself. So I want you girls to repeat that to yourselves. Like, my number one priority right now is the relationship I have with myself. And then also, you know, the divine comes into that as well, right? But if you're new on this journey, I normally start with women at, let's bring you back into your body, girlfriend. You need to find yourself and know your heart and your womb and your head and your thoughts and your needs and your feelings and your wants and your desires. Like, who is Jamie? Who is Abigail? Who is Amber? Who is Vanessa? Like, what is she feeling? What does she need? What does she desire? What is she scared of? What is she feeling hopeless about? Right? It's like we start to ask these deeper questions because all of these questions, they need to be answered by you going and actually asking your heart, actually, hi, haven't I ever talked to you before? Because I didn't know you were an organ. I mean, I didn't know you were more than an organ. I actually never intentionally closed my eyes and said hello to myself. When was the last time you ever did that? I mean, I hadn't done that. And so I was like, oh my God, oh my gosh, Vane, you're here. And that's kind of the sensation when you've gone your whole life without yourself, because your focus is always where? When you are living a life without yourself, where is your focus always at? Answer. So you can unmute or chat it. Where's your focus at?
On everyone else around you, all the external stuff.
Mm-hmm. On everyone else. And if you're in relationship with a man, where's your focus? And there's no sense of self. It's all on him. And if you girls for a second just pretend to be a man, how does it feel to be with a woman who has no sense of self and her whole focus and energy is always laser focused on you? Doesn't feel good, does it? It's kind of like, ew, right? That's when we see men ghost a woman. That's when we see men like, I'm out. And not all men, like men do different things. Some men will leave. Normally good men will leave. The toxic men will stay because they'll be like, I like this. Right? So there's a lot of nuance here, but I'm just giving you an example. That's a whole other call. Okay. But we get there little by little. I'm just showing you girls how your outer world reflects the state of your inner world. I want you girls to say that my outer world reflects the state of my inner world. My outer world reflects the state of my inner world. So if there are a lot of symptoms or little gremlins in your outer world, guess what? There's stuff for you to look at inside of yourself, right? If you're not liking what you see on the outer, guess what? There's some things you need to look at, right? And the beauty of this is not to shame, but this is an invitation of like, oh, I actually need to put down the magnifying glass, because the magnifying glass is always pointed at what? The outer, right? When you pick up a magnifying glass, we need to put down the magnifying glass and pick up the mirror. And this is a loving mirror. Okay. This is not like for you to pick yourself apart and to think or believe that something's wrong with you and you need to be fixed, because that's not what we do here in my containers. This is like the loving mirror of like, all you're gonna get here and meet yourself with your reflection, all you're gonna meet your reflection with is love. And you're gonna practice love because you get to grow in love. You get to practice loving yourself, right? You get to practice tuning into yourself, because every time you tune into yourself, every time you close your eyes, you put your hand on your heart and you breathe with yourself and you acknowledge yourself, you are practicing loving yourself. Vane, I don't love myself. How can I learn to love myself? Okay, baby girl. This is what we do. At least once a day, you go inside of yourself and you say hi. And you put your hands on your body and you say, hi, Vane, I'm here. I'm here. And you breathe with yourself, because what does love do? Is love present? Or is love dismissive and abandoning? Love is present. Love is attentive, right? Love is like, okay, honey, I'm here, whatever you need. Not, no, 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 I don't want to see you. No, 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 I won't look at that. No, love is like, whatever you're wearing, whatever you're going through, I am here. Love is whatever you're going through, I am here. Whatever you're going through, I am here. Right? So it starts with these baby steps, my loves, every day of like, okay, I need to learn how to love myself. Whatever you're here for, right? I want to learn how to connect with my feminine design and my nature and who I am as a woman. Okay, well, it starts with you putting your hands on your body, closing your eyes, and saying hello to her. Because remember that trust, I wrote this in an email, trust comes from relationship. A lot of women who come to me, Vane, I don't trust myself. I'm like, of course you don't. How could you trust someone you're not in relationship with? Yes, right? Mm-hmm. Are we gonna just, do we trust anyone that comes off the street? No, I don't know you. I got to get to know you. Like, I got to spend some time with you, chat with you, find out where you come from, and then use my body as a compass. Like, like, what is this person saying, right? It's the same thing you got to do with yourself, right? Let me plug in my phone, my computer. So let's pause there and just see, like, let me know what you're resonating with, like anything I've said that is like landing for you, maybe giving you a little revelation of like, oh yeah, you know, and anything that lands like that for you girls, you got to write down, because that's like knowledge for your soul. It's wisdom for your soul, and your body is literally telling you that, oh my God, that, yeah, I need to listen to that. Oh yeah, I need to like sit with these words. I need to meditate on these words. I need to like, yeah, I can feel it shifting something inside of me, because that's how this wisdom actually starts to work you, right? Because this wisdom is actually inside of yourself, but it's underneath all the stuff, all the ick, all the lies and all the non-truths. And it's kind of like in that storage room that no one goes to, you know, but it's in there. So when you feel it, you're like, oh yeah, because you can feel truth in your body, my loves. Okay, so know that your body, this is something else that we really go into in my paid containers. It's like knowing that your body is holy. Your body is worthy. Your body is a vessel. Your body is a compass. Your body is alive, and she's breathing wisdom always. Like, she's much more than a tool. I mean, and there's a lot of women who use their body as a tool in a negative way, right? To get men, to seduce men, for money, God knows, for attention, for likes on Instagram, right? But the way God created you and your body was for something so much deeper and grand than just cheap attention, because anyone can get cheap attention. right? But your body, first and foremost, is for you. It's for you, right? It's a keeper. She's the keeper of this feminine wisdom. She's your compass throughout life. She's going to talk to you through feelings and sensations. She's going to tell you, ooh, that doesn't feel good. Or she's going to tell you, ooh, yeah, I like this. I want more of this. Or she's going to tell you, ooh, I don't really like the taste of that. She's going to tell you, ooh, I love me some chocolate ice cream. You know, she's going to tell you, oh, I feel so loved and seen by this person. Or she's going to tell you, he's not really my vibe, or she's not really my vibe. We don't really resonate. Do you see? So like tune in right now and even see like, how have you been using your own body? Have you been trusting her? Have you been relating to her and talking to her and opening up to her and listening to her and honoring her? Or have you been using her and objectifying her? Because that's what I was doing up until like, I was 30. I was totally objectifying myself, using my body as a way to get attention and a way to make me feel worthy, because I identified only with how my body looked, because I was so disconnected from my heart that I led with my body, but in a not way. Does anyone resonate? Yeah? Okay. Let me check the chat. Okay, so yeah, that's what was sticking with me, that small bit of fear, then choosing to trust the support, but also myself. Yes, and it's always a choice. Always a choice. Taking notes now. I'm journaling on love is beautiful and somatic healing. I love it. So, the more you do, the more you connect with your inner world, the more you're telling yourself you matter. Every time you choose to sit with yourself, you're saying, I matter. Every time you decide to put your hands on your heart and say hi, you're saying, I matter. Jamie, I want to ask you this question. What starts to happen inside of you after a month of telling yourself that you matter?
You really, like, at first it feels foreign if you've someone like me, like, never done that type of connection work before, but it really does work. Like, you start to feel like if you're investing this time, like getting to know yourself, you are worth that. And you start to believe these things and it just kind of grows. But I've been like taking down notes as you're chatting, Vanessa, because like you said so many things. Like, how can you be confident in someone you don't know? Like, you have to get to know yourself. You have to do these things and practice these things before you can love yourself. So
yeah, I know they're like aha moments, right?
Yeah, so I'm like scribbling on my journal.
I'll send out the recording so you can rewatch it. And remember, girls, like, I was saying to Abigail, I have so much content on YouTube and in my Facebook group. So like, the more you're exposed to this, the more you hear it, it becomes living words inside of you, living knowledge, living wisdom. So go back and listen to it, especially like the stuff that you're like, oh my God, this is really landing. Play it over and over and over again, because you're literally programming yourself. And I want to say reprogramming yourself with the truth, because everything else you've learned about yourself, my loves, from your heartbreaks and from your traumas and from your breakups and from maybe your, not so beautiful and loving childhood, all of that, everything that you started to believe about yourself from those things that happened to you are lies. They're lies. They're heartbreaks. They happen, and we need to tend to the heartbreaks and we need to tend to the grief. But what you started to believe about yourself from those instances, that you're not good enough, or you're not worthy, and you're not loved, or you're not special, you're not chosen, those are all lies. And that's why it's so important to do the heart work. Because if you continue to walk this planet heartbroken, and when we're heartbroken and we don't tend to the heart, we start believing that we're unworthy. You're going to live in conflict. You're going to live in a living hell for the rest of your life. Like, that's really what it felt like to me when I didn't have this relationship with myself. I was living in hell, like struggling every day, disconnected, in, you know, patterns of control and isolation and disconnection, and, you know, judging myself, comparing myself, you know, always trying to be perfect in how I looked, and just feeling always, you know, in dis-ease, like not settled, no peace, no confidence, right? Can you girls relate? And that to me is hell. That to me is living in hell. Like your world now can either be heaven or it can be hell. Like you don't need to wait to die to get to hell or heaven, girl. You're either, you can live heaven now or you can live hell now. And I say that from experience because I lived in hell for 30 years and now I live in heaven for the last 7. And that's why I'm so passionate about this, because I'm like, I get it. I know what it is to live in panic, anxiety, and control and disconnection, and in not loving myself and not having a relationship with the divine, which is also a big part to this journey, right? Is knowing who you are as a daughter, right? So it's, you know, every symptom that you feel in your life, it comes from what you believe about yourself and how you see yourself, right? So just like sitting with that, you know, and in my next container, embody your feminine holiness, like we're going to sit with that. You know, it's like, how do you see yourself? What are the perceptions that you have about yourself? Because that's going to tell you everything. And if we don't get that straight, if we don't get that rectified, then you will live out hell. If you believe yourself to be unworthy, alone. Hi, love. Nice to see you, babe. If you believe that you're unworthy, alone, unlovable, not chosen, insignificant, right? Because how many of us feel insignificant? I felt like that for years. I felt like no one cared truly about me. I didn't feel loved by the divine. I didn't feel chosen. I didn't feel significant. I didn't feel enough. And this is something we all share as women. At the core of all the symptoms, you saw that, right? My lights just went out. Pray for the electricity to stay on, people, okay? We're having like hurricane winds down here in Miami, so whatever. I'll jump on my phone. If we get disconnected, just don't leave. I'll be back. I'll figure it out on my phone. But like living in hell is living in an identity of slavery, of like, you're not worth it. No one loves you. No one cares. You know, it's like you don't get set free until you change the perception you have about yourself. And it's so, you know, it's to see yourself differently, but also to treat yourself differently. Right? So from not giving yourself any time to devoting time to yourself, not sitting with yourself to sitting with yourself, not journaling to journaling, not breathing love into your body intentionally to breathing love into yourself, you know, not asking yourself these deeper questions to, yeah, I sit with myself and I ask myself, I get curious about myself, because that's what love does. Love is curious. Love is interested. Love doesn't abandon, right? So when you choose this path of like reclaiming your feminine and honoring your heart and wanting to come into relationship with the divine because you want to know yourself as a loved daughter, you got to make time for yourself. And every time you make time for yourself, you're like, oh my God, your I matter meter goes up. So from empty, she's like, oh my God, I matter. Oh my God, I feel confident. Oh my God, I feel so much lighter. Oh my God, I'm alive. That's literally what happens. And then you're walking this planet like, I don't even know. It's just like, it's like not a conceited, but it's like, I'm here. Woo! Like, I love what I see in the mirror. Oh, I love you. You know, and that was a practice that I did in the beginning, girls. I would go to the mirror, and I was going through a horrific breakup at the time. Okay. My whole world had been flipped upside down. I was in so much devastation. I had never been alone on my own before. And I remember going to the mirror. I was so distraught, so like, oh my God, cracked open, just so like, what the fuck is going to happen with me in my life? And I remember going to the mirror, and it was like, it was like another Vanessa came through, and she was like, I got you, and I'm here, and I'm not going to leave you. And I would cry. And I was like, I'm not going to leave you. I'm here. And I would tell myself that over and over again. I'm here. You're not alone. I'm here. I got you. Because in the past, Vane would leave herself. If I went through a breakup, I could not stand in the pain, and I would go try to soothe the pain with either trying to get the man back. Has anyone ever done that? You go and chase the man to come back, right? Even though you know that it's not good, because deep inside of us, we know truth, right? Whether we listen to it or not is a different story. Or I would go drink. I would go party. I would go numb my pain. Is that loving towards myself? No. But this time, this breakup, I had the heart wisdom. I knew that I could not betray myself or abandon myself this time. So I sat there and I felt the deepest pain and grief of my life, because I was like, I'm not leaving you. I'm going to sit right here and I'm going to cry. I'm going to scream. I'm going to wail. I'm going to, hit my pillow, whatever you need. I'm going to let you move all this emotion through you, baby girl. I'm not leaving you. And I got support. I also had someone that I saw every week, because, things can get tangled in our brains, and I needed support. But I chose to sit right there in the deepest pain of my life and not leave myself, because I had enough wisdom and I had been on this path for enough time where I was like, Vane, we don't do that anymore. We don't abandon ourselves anymore. And I was just like, I gotta sit with all this pain. I feel like I'm going to die. That's what I felt like. I felt like I was going to die from the pain. But guess what? I didn't literally die, but I promise you, and we all know this because I know we've all been here, that the parts of me that needed to die and be burned alive were burned alive. And a new rise from the ashes Vane, confident Vane, powerful Vane, in love with herself Vane, rose. And she's been here ever since. Right? And I speak to all of you from that place, because the things that we go through, when we love ourselves, they give you wings, babes. They give you wings. I have wings now that I never had previous, or before that breakup. Never. But that breakup to me was my like choice point. It was where I, for the first time in my life, chose myself in a way that I had never chosen myself before. And I get goosebumps saying that, because I had always sold myself out. I had always sold myself out. And this time I was like, I'm not doing that. And I didn't. And I can only express to you, to the best of my ability, what that gave me, and the confidence it gave me, and the love that I felt for myself. I'm like, oh my God, I'm here, and I'm going to be here, and I can be here, and I can do it. Oh my God, I can do it. I won't die. I mean, I'll have like an emotional death. I'll have some type of death inside, but those are the pieces of you that need to die. The pieces of you that believe that you can't do it. Yes. The pieces of you that believe that you do need that man to soothe that ache or to give you your worth. No. And I was like, oh my God, I never thought I could do this. And I did. Right. But it all stems from me choosing myself, and choosing yourself is an act of love. Love. It's an act of love, right? Just like everything I taught you girls in the beginning of this call, the breath, the sound, the touch, the acknowledging, the putting your hands on your body. Girls, that's where I started in 2017. Those baby steps, but those baby steps are foundational to whatever you want in your life, or wherever you want to go in your life, or whoever you want to end up in your life. If you don't have a loving relationship with yourself, you'll never be able to fully love another person, because you can only love someone else to the depths that you love yourself. So if you want that deep love, that true love, right? You have to be able to give it to yourself first, because you can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't truly know. And I realized that through my own breakup, where I was like, oh my God, I wasn't truly loving that person. And I was like, I thought I was. I thought I was loving people around me, but I was like, oh my God, I was only loving them to the capacity that I knew love, right? If I couldn't feel my own, like, compassion to my own heart, how could I truly feel compassion for another person's heart? It's impossible, babes. And you'll know this the farther you get on this journey, because when compassion opens up inside of you, and empathy and understanding and patience and kindness for yourself, because you're able to give it to them because you've given it to yourself first. But up until then, you really don't understand what true compassion is if you can't feel compassion for yourself. You just can't, right? So that's another, like, key is like, wow, me loving myself stems to every place, every person, every single person I'm in relationship with, right? And being, like what Amber said in the chat, can I share examples of leading from the heart and love? Those are all examples. It starts with you loving yourself. It starts with you being vulnerable with yourself, right? So what's being vulnerable with myself? Me, I'm being extremely vulnerable and open right in here about my story, what I've been through, my feelings, my emotions, my passions, my purpose, how this gave me wings. I'm speaking from my heart. I'm not in my head like, oh, what can I say to make them feel some way? Or no, I can't say that. No, I'm like, this is me and this is all of me right here. Like, I don't hold things back. I don't need to prepare what I'm going to say. I don't need to, like, I'm not judging myself. I'm not in my head when I'm speaking, right? Vulnerability comes from your pure exposure of your heart. So if I ask you girls right now, like I asked you in the beginning, how are you all feeling? So let's practice being vulnerable. Are we ready? Let's do it. So I want you girls to tune into your body right now. Tune into your heart. See how you're feeling. Ask her, heart of mine, how are you feeling right now? And see what she says. And then when you're ready to share, you're going to unmute, come back, and just share. And we're going to practice being seen. Being vulnerable is being seen, allowing yourself to be seen, no matter what you're feeling, no matter if it's up or down or big or tall or this or that. Hey, this is what I'm feeling right now. Who wants to go first? Amber, you want to go? Let us know how you're feeling. This is your practice to learn what being vulnerable is, since you asked. Okay, we'll come back to you, babe. Anybody else want to go?
Sorry, I'm in the middle of texting someone. I'll be right back.
Okay. Jamie?
I'm feeling in this moment calm, and also hopeful, because I'm like really realizing the power of doing these practices and the change that can come with it. And I wasn't feeling that before the call. I was feeling stressed and frazzled with work stuff. So it's just been really nice to shift that and, share the space with other women that are probably going through similar things. So yeah, but in this moment, much calmer.
Yeah. And I love that you shared what you were feeling before, because isn't that quite vulnerable to be like, yeah, I was feeling really frazzled before this call. That's a beautiful example of being vulnerable. Thank you, babe. My honey with the iPhone. Janelle, right? Yes. You want to go, love?
I'm feeling I was just like grocery shopping and feels like I've been going like hardcore all day. And then I quickly just jumped on the call. I saw the email. So I do feel like I'm coming down. I have my tea candle and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
Settling.
What am I doing here? Okay, breathe.
Yes. I know.
But I feel even just being in this space and like what you shared has been like it resonates with me a lot, like even the relationship stuff. And I've been in a relationship for 4 years
Mhm.
with the same guy, and it's been up and down. And the past few weeks I've been really like anxious,
Mm.
so I'm just trying to sift through like what is this pain. I want to be chosen, but it's me wanting to choose, like I want to choose me, like
Yeah.
that little girl, she just gets triggered a lot. And I kind of get annoyed, I'm like, oh, okay, no. You gotta just love her, right? Take care of her. And
I
so
know.
yeah, when you said that, I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
just need time for her, take care of her.
Yeah. 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 And spaces like this help a lot, babes. I mean, like, how much better do you feel just to have like a place where you can land and like, okay, I don't have to do it for everybody else. Let me just come in,
Mhm.
right? And just like bring the attention and the focus back to you, to
Mhm.
your body, to your feelings, to that anxiety, to that anxiousness, because we do need that as women, right? And that's why I wanted to do the circle, because I wanted you girls to share. I wanted you girls to get a sense of what it feels like to be with other women who are on the same path, because it's life changing
Mhm.
to have a space you can come to and wow, I can really be seen here. I can really share what's on my heart. I don't have to perform. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to like keep it, all together here. And it's like, no, we actually want the raw, messy, beautiful, vulnerable piece of you, right? Because like how many other people can relate to what Janelle just said right now? I can, right? And it's like, okay, I'm not alone. And that eases like 50% of it, right?
Yeah, we're all in this together.
We're all in this, and it's like, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I'm not alone. Yeah. So what we did in the beginning of the call, babe, you'd really love it. We did more of that sound and the breath stuff that we did last class in the event.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I'll have the recording and I'll put it up in the Facebook group and also send it out
Yeah.
and put it on my YouTube page so you can do it, because it's a great practice to have
Mhm.
anytime, anywhere, right? Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing.
Thank you.
Abigail, love.
Yeah, I feel like at first I kind of felt this like weariness. This today I work a 14-hour shift, and so I always get this kind of like bone tiredness after a
Yeah.
certain point. And so like that was kind of weighing, but then there was also just this calm that like typically wasn't there. That I was like, oh, like okay, like we can hold space with both. And so it was just this like sitting with it and being like, okay, like I can be tired, but also still like have this time for like checking in and care.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because the truth is that we are working women,
Mhm.
and we're working women, and we're not just like sitting in the garden picking fruits and like, grazing under the sunshine and with other women all day who we can open our hearts and talk like vulnerably to. Like, we live in a very cutthroat world where it's like work, keep it together, stress, all these things. So it's like it's beautiful to be able to have these spaces to also like give you a sense of connection even when you're doing worldly things, right? Because it's not a hat you take on and off. That, girls, you learn further on the journey. is that because right now in the beginning, you may feel like, oh, I got to put my feminine hat on and I got to take it off. And it's like, but it actually turns in like my life right now. It's like, I get to operate in the world from this place. Like, I don't need to take off the hat, put it on. It's just who I am. So it actually ends up, you just end up being who you naturally are. And right now you may not really know, or you may know, right? Depending on how much work you've done, but we forget easily. It's easy to forget. And that's why it's so important to have a space that you can plug into once a week to just be a woman, to just be a feeling being of like, oh my God, I actually am feeling super anxious and a little worried about this relationship. And I haven't spoken about it or haven't said it out loud. But man, when I do, wow, I feel so much lighter now that I've said that. Because women, we need to talk about the things that are stressing us out. Men separate. Men go into their cave when they're stressed. Women are like, I need to call my best friend right now. Okay. But also what can happen, and what I noticed is, women can actually, they can have a more male perception where they actually do cut off and they do isolate from other people. Right. And when you do that, you already know that you're actually losing connection with your own femininity, because you're actually operating more male, because you're isolating and you're going into the cave by yourself and you're not seeking support. It's actually very feminine to seek support. It's very feminine to have groups of girls that you can chat with and talk with. And obviously we're talking about women who can know how to hold space, because there's a lot of women who are operating more male these days. Can you girls like think of a few, right? Or even yourself, like me, I was super, male. Like I was in a woman's body, but I was very like, very just like vulnerability is a weakness, like believing all those things, right? Not expressing my, isolating myself. So it's like wherever you are, just know that not even the cure, because there's nothing wrong with you, but the key to you loving yourself and having this beautiful relationship with your inner world is like being plugged into feminine spaces and having connection where you can feel safe and seen and heard, because those are all qualities of feeling loved. And I want you girls to let me know this is a question, okay? And I'm going to give you a minute to sit with it before you share, because I want to hear your voices on this one. And you can write it down if you want, because it's a good question to journal on. Who am I when I feel loved, safe, enough, and cared for? Who am I when I feel loved, enough, safe, and cared for? So sit with that. And I want you to tell me who you are when you feel those things. When you know that there's enough, when you know that you're enough, when you know that you're safe to be who you are, when you know that you're cared for, and when you know that you're loved. Who are you? And then when you're ready to share, just unmute yourself and let's hear it. This is a big question. I love
I'll
this.
go ahead. I wrote it in my, I put radiant goddess, confident, flowing, glowing, happy, joyful, exuberant, passionate,
Wow.
carefree. I could go on and on.
Yes, mama. Yes. And how does that feel? How does she feel inside of herself? Connect to her, and how does she feel inside? Like feel your heart. Feel that.
She feels like she can relax and take down the walls that she's constructed for so many years. And she feels this melting, this softness, this like kind of a ripening, this like juiciness, this sensuality that gets to come out, the playfulness, the like all of that, And I think that dropping into our body, because I do some of this work with my clients, but healers need healers too. And so like coming into these spaces for ourselves is really important. And so thank you for holding this, because even though I know these things, there's times when I lose the moments of like you're saying, who I am. Like when I reconnect to that part of me, that all-knowing part of me that just, it's almost like you can just relax and exhale and everything is wonderful. And no matter what's going on, there's this safety, there's this surrender. It's like just the feeling of surrender. I am held. God's got me.
Yes,
I'm
amen.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel it. I felt it like felt inside of me. I was like, yes. And I
Yeah.
totally understand as, a space holder too. I'm like, yeah, I need my support, girl. Cause sometimes the mama over here is like, there's a lot going on. So I'm
Yeah. And
game, babe.
and I think after the pandemic, even more so, I used to do in-person things with women, and that kind of fell away with the pandemic. And I'm realizing how very, very important it is to gather online, to gather in person, together in any
Together.
way we can, together as women. Yeah, for sure.
No, it's a big deal. I'm so happy
Yeah.
that you came, babe.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Thank you for sharing. Ah, so good. It's like healing just hearing that. I'm like, yes. And just being reminded, right? Because the truth is, babes, that you are safe. You are loved. You are enough. You are cared for. You are significant. You are chosen. Like that is the absolute truth, even though at times you may not feel it or you may not feel that consistently. I'm telling you from the other side that that's the truth. So you can lean on me, my faith, my trust, my journey, and knowing that this is the truth. And little by little, the more you connect to yourself, the more you're going to be able to feel that truth. But it comes from you making time for yourself, right? All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go. I loved Amber's answer. That's
Right?
a tough act to follow. I was like, yes, girl. But I just wrote the best version of myself, happy, whole, and at peace. That's what came up for me.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Happy and whole and at peace. Amen, girl. Peace, let me tell you, is the best feeling there is peace, especially when you've lived like I did in so much like inner turmoil for so long and inner conflict, right? Like there's nothing like peace. I'm just like, peace, that's it. That's all I want. Just calm and peaceful inside. So amen to that. Thank you for sharing, honey. Who's next? Abigail, babe?
The first things that kind of come to mind for me were like open and playful and generous.
Honey, you're
like,
cutting out.
towards-
You're cutting out a little bit.
No. Okay. Let me see. This seems steadier. Okay. It's this like
Okay,
open, like playful and like generous, like towards myself and others.
yeah, generous. I like that. Yes. And you said playful and open. Yeah. Yeah. And even thinking about those words, like how much that can even pour out into the world, like how generosity can affect the world, right? Like when you're generous, how does that affect others? Yeah, hurricane service must be happening for sure. And how that playful energy that can inspire others, right? Like we need more playfulness in this world. And that's also like who we are in the depths of our heart. We're like these beautiful little radiant girls who want to play and play dress up and sparkle and sing and do cartwheels and dance, right? It's like that's who we are at our core. We're like a child, a daughter, right? But we lose that when we've been heartbroken. We lose that along the way when we've been traumatized by certain things in our life. And it's like, okay, those are the pieces and the parts of us that get very fractured, right? And those are the parts within us that need to come back to the love. They need to be restored to the love, right? So thank you, honey. That was great. Janelle?
That was so good. It's so true. I
Right.
feel a little girl would be like, yes, I want that.
Yes, what's a playtime? Play with me.
Yes. For me, I can feel playful and like creative, a lot of compassion, like loving.
Did she freeze? Chanel, you're frozen. Can everyone still hear me?
We can still hear you.
Okay, great. I didn't know if it was my hurricane winds over here. All right, she'll be back, I'm sure, in a second. So, babe, so I want you to expand on that question. Like, I want you to sit with it, let it like meditate on it for the next couple of days of like, gosh, if I knew that I was enough. Oh, Janelle, you're back. You cut off for a second.
I know. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. Okay, so wait, I want you to finish. You were saying playful, loved. You were saying loved.
Yes. Loving, compassionate.
Yeah.
I would say peaceful too.
Yeah. Oh my God. Amen. Yes, for the peace. Okay, awesome, honey. Thank you. So what I was saying was I want you girls to sit with this question. You know, even if you've answered this question before or you've heard it before, like, you know, Amber's here and she's, you know, a space holder herself. She's a coach and mentor too. It's like, I still sit with these questions, right? I still do reflection time. I still check in and say, how are you feeling today? What do you need from me? Because there's always little blind spots. Like we have blind spots, right? And these questions help you see yourself and they help you bring things that are in the dark, things that are in the unconscious, which 95% of our, you know, inner world is unconscious. It helps us bring the unconscious to the conscious. And it's like you're bringing the things out of the dark into the light. And when they come into the light, they receive the light of the love and the truth, and they are wiped clean. They are renewed. They are restored. They are healed. They are hold, right? Like they are brought back to the wholeness. And that's where the fractures, the wounds that you may have that are hiding in the dark, right? Because they haven't been seen, they haven't been loved on, they haven't been tended to. It's like we bring the healing balm of love to them and we're like, okay. And when they are seen and when they are loved, what do you girls think happens? That's it. You can move forward. You're no longer a prisoner of the past, babes. Right? So it's like, think about what you're yearning for, what you're truly longing for. And it's like every step that you take towards that has to be in service to love and to devotion to yourself. Right. And for me, devotion is like, no matter what, I'm here for myself no matter what. I'm sitting with myself no matter what. I'm loving on myself no matter what. I'm journaling with myself no matter what. I'm crying because I need to express no matter what. I'm sharing my heart no matter what. I have support in my life no matter what, because that's what's good for me. Right? Loving yourself is choosing yourself, and choosing yourself is choosing what's best for you. What's best for my heart, what's best for my body, what's best for my emotions, what's best for my muscles and my bones, what's best for my mental body, my mind, my brain, what's best for my spirit right now. Right? So these are all little pieces of us as women. We're very like just, you know, beautiful creatures, and we have an inner world that is very, very big. I compare your inner world to like the ocean. Okay, different waves on different days. It's deep, it's shallow, it's blue, turquoise, and then it's like almost black. Lots going on inside of us, right? But we need a place to express, to open, to be wild, to be, you know, calm, to feel like we're in a, you know, little water spout some days, or a hurricane, and there's winds and there's water, there's like, you know, the calm water and the turquoise water. It's like we need a place for all of that. And this is the space that you girls get to do that. It's when we come into communion with other women, right? And when you have support around you in your life. So I wanted really to just give you all a taste of that today, to give you a taste of just, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. You're not alone. And that's the message, is you're not alone. And community and having support in your life is transformational for a woman. And it's also how we remember and keep remembering that we are woman, so that we don't get lost from our feminine, right? Because your feminine is that inner world. It is those deeper parts of you that are inside of yourself and no one else can see, but you can feel. And you know that they're there and they need tending to, right? So we're gonna wrap up now, but just let me know in the chat, or let's do our, we're not doing the chat anymore. Not that we were doing it, but let's unmute and just tell me one thing that really landed for you today. One thing that you're taking away with you today. And then we'll close. Okay. All right, Abigail, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I think it keeps coming back to that question of like, how can you be confident in something you don't know? And like desire for just self-knowledge and befriending myself in a way.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. Awesome. Did you take notes? Good job. Great. Janelle?
I loved that, like you said, with the group of women. I never saw it like that, that it's so important for our femininity to be around other women and to express it and like have that. So that was something that I'm like, what? That's amazing.
Yeah,
Because I don't have that much. Like, I do have close friends, but I don't have a huge community of women in my life. And also, I loved that you said about taking care of yourself, spending time tending to your heart. That was amazing.
Good reminders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Thank you, babe. Amber, you want to share something that you're taking away from tonight?
Absolutely. So what really, well, first of all, I'll just share that like I have no idea how I ended up in this tonight. Like it's just so serendipitous. I saw the email and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that sounds so nourishing, and just like what my soul's been yearning for is like feminine circles. Like I used to do this kind of stuff all the time, like I was saying, and it's just like I haven't been making it a point to get in spaces like this. And so thank you for facilitating this. And so one of the things that, so many things stood out, but one of the really clear things that I'm going to journal on is you said something about when we're looking for someone else to choose us.
Yep.
Okay? It's really us wanting to choose ourselves.
Yeah, it's really us needing to choose ourselves.
And I think that really, really was a deep like, aha. So, I've been like, I want to get married. I've been divorced for 14 years and doing a lot of healing with God right now. And to let healthy love in, because I've been in sort of abusive relationships in the past in my marriage. And so I like the feeling of choosing myself first before I even get into a relationship. And I have been, but also there was just a deepening in the way you said it. It lit something within me that it sparked this whole new perspective of, it's not even about relationship with God, even. That's a little deeper, like you said, but it's like, can I love all the parts of me now as I am? The fears of being in a relationship again, like all of the things that come up, and I think that's ultimately what choosing myself is. It's like, you know what, even if you're afraid of love, just, do it afraid, and just don't deny yourself this pleasure of letting it in, letting yourself feel it. And it's about embodiment for me, because for me, with trauma in the past, letting a healthy love in is not something I've ever felt.
Yes, that's
So,
it.
so yeah, so that's really,
Woo, baby. I'm like, that's a whole other class. I'm like, we got to do another circle to talk all about that.
Oh, yes, please do. Absolutely. Well, thank you for holding space. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, honey. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's a big piece of choosing self. And I can go on and on about choosing yourself because I was a woman who never chose herself. Never, right? I chose the man, the relationship, what they said, what they thought, how they saw me before how I saw myself, right? And it was honestly, it makes a woman like when a woman doesn't choose herself, she is literally starving. It sets her up to be starving for someone else to choose her. Okay, so that desperation that we feel towards a man, and see if you girls can connect with it for a second, whether in relationship or not. Have you ever felt that feeling of like, oh, just like see me, choose me, pick me, like that sensation? How desperate and like starvation does that feeling feel inside of you? Like for me, it's like it's like this posture, right? And in those moments during my breakup, I was like, oh my God, I'm so empty of being chosen that I am desperate for this man who I know is not even good for me because I was in an abusive relationship. I'm desperate for this man who's giving me breadcrumbs or not even treating me the way I deserve to be treated. But if I could just get him to choose me, then I'd be okay. Right? And that showed me how deep that wounds went because I was like, wow, this is not even good for me. This relationship isn't good for me, but I'll do anything just to be chosen. And that is how a woman sells herself out. Because she's like, fuck it. Fuck it. And that's called settling, and that's called taking breadcrumbs, accepting breadcrumbs, because we are not feeling worthy, and we don't feel worthy because we're not choosing ourselves. So when you feel those moments of like, oh, I just need it from him, it's like, no, 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 mama, remove him and just be like, no, 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 I need to choose you. And that was something else I used to tell myself in the mirror. I used to look at myself in the mirror and be like, I choose you. You don't need him to choose you. I choose you. And I would say it on repeat, on repeat, on repeat until it was in my bones of like, no, 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 no. It's not about him. It's about you. It's about me. I choose me. I don't wait for anybody else to choose me, right? Like I've chosen me already. It's done. And even deeper than that, babes, God has chosen you. You are chosen by the divine. And that is a big piece. But I love that Amber said this because this is big too. And you girls may get this, you may not, it's fine. But even in the space of, God, it's like, you can't like to just be even outwardly focused on just being chosen by God without choosing yourself. It's the same thing of just wanting to be chosen by a man but not choosing yourself. Like God wants you to also choose yourself. God wants you to see yourself how he sees you, and that is chosen, worthy, enough, beautiful, incredible, right? Special, right? So it's like there's a gap, right? Especially when, now in this new like era of my faith, because I am a very faithful, godly woman. Like that has been my journey the last 2 years. I have come to know God in ways that I have never. Jesus, my faith, the Bible, and all the things. Like I have a very deep relationship with my faith, very deep. But there's even a point in that where you end up just being focused on the outer, on God, Jesus, the Bible, your faith, but bypassing yourself. And that's what happens in religion. Women are completely bypassing themselves and only focusing on God. But that's incomplete too, because union begins with you. In order to be in a healthy union with someone, including the divine, you have to matter to yourself. You have to feel worthy. You have to be chosen. You have to feel enough to be in a healthy relationship. Like it takes two, right? So know that whatever relationship you're in, you must choose yourself. And that includes the relationship with the divine, right? But if you're bypassing yourself to any degree, babes, it will show up in your outer world. It will show up in that desperation that you feel deep within. And you can feel it because it pulls, like it's down here in your deep part of like, kind of that feeling, right? So whenever we start to feel that, that is our like our sign, like our alert system of like, wait, you're going to the outer, you're going to the outer, you're going to the man, you're going to the relationship, you're going to the work, to the success, to the money, instead of grounding and rooting yourself in yourself and tending to the feelings of why you're feeling desperate in the first place. Because normally when we feel desperate, it's because we are not tending to ourselves and we are completely disconnected from ourselves. And that's the problem. Okay, so symptoms will show up in the outer when you are disconnected from yourself. And it will be, I just want him to choose me. I just want him to, I need more from him. I need, and it's actually you being so far away from yourself. Okay, and in order to attract healthy love, guess what? You need to be in a healthy, loving relationship with yourself. Because if you don't know what healthy love is with yourself, then you're gonna bypass it on the street, girl. That's it, right? So that was my rant. Okay. Jamie, last but not least, love.
Well, so much of that hit home for sure. Something that I wrote down, my outer world reflects the state of my inner world. So like everything you were just saying. Yeah, so and thank you for this, because I think, and some of the other ladies shared too, just being vulnerable and hearing from other women, you realize how many similarities and things that other people have struggled with that you're exploring and healing too. So it's really nice.
Yeah, awesome. It's super healing. And I'm glad you came, honey. Jamie, my loves, is one of my one-on-one clients. We've been working together for like a month, right? Almost a month. And I was like, you gotta come to the sister circle. You need to feel what it feels like to be around other women.
Yeah, it was great. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, babe. I'm glad you're here. So yeah, my love. So we're gonna close now. I am just so filled. I just love, I love holding these type of spaces. It really is my work and it's my passion and my purpose. And it just fills my heart so much. So I'm just so happy that you girls came and you girls received and had aha moments and just have moments and pieces now to give you deeper inquiry into yourself and always like picking up the loving mirror, right? To like reflect on yourself and to have compassion and to show yourself love through these moments of connection. So I'm just happy that you girls came. I know that you received exactly what you were meant to receive. Yeah, and I'm going to be starting a little 4-week program next week, Embody Your Feminine Holiness. So if you're seeking and wanting more of the support and you want to give yourself the gift of group container, I highly recommend joining me. It's going to be fun, it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be filled with so much love. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. And it's, I have a little payment plan. It's $277 pay in full, or you can do 2 payments of $150. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything, feel free to email me or DM me. And I just can't wait to see y'all again. All right, babes. Love you all and have a beautiful night. Okay. Bye, girls. Bye.